So there's a bit of corrosion behind there. So I think I've just got to get a zip wheel in there, cut through there, get that piece out, deal with what's behind it, and stitch it back in again. And I guess while it's open, maybe open it up bigger than it needs to be, bearing in mind where the spot welds are, and then I can get behind there and clean it up as well. Right, I've just put tape on there because it's easier to follow tape than it is an imaginary line. So the camera might need to get out of the way in the middle in a minute. So I can get that, and I can get that, so I will get that. I don't know where the camera's going to go. I've had enough sparks embedded in its lens already. Is that hanging on there because I haven't cut through, or because there's a weld there? I think it's because it's welded on. So I should get some pliers, or my cameraman can get some pliers, and I'll grab hold of that. Get some pliers, please, cameraman. Oh, I'm going to hold this while I'm singing a song while he goes and gets the pliers. Hey, you're on the clock, boy.
What?
You're on the clock. You could speed this bit up, or you could choose a piece of music. Actually, get a chisel and a hammer as well. Sharp chisel, the small ones in the red tray. I am not sure. I think that isn't supposed to be a hole. Sorry. I think that isn't supposed to be a hole. Right, and the pliers. Don't worry about pliers for now, we'll just use this. That is, I think, a blinking welding there. Just my luck. Yeah. See it tearing out. What you laughing at? I have no idea what that is, but other than the rust, whether it's supposed to be a hole there or not. If it is supposed to be a hole there, I might have to cut out even more. I'll tell you what transpires later. So I've got to sort this out now. And I reckon that I need to remove a little bit more of this in order to patch up the back of it. Probably come down far enough, but I haven't gone up far enough. So I guess I'll see where the spot welds are and try and remove it, the outer bit intact, maybe up through here, and then I can reuse that and just add a piece into it, use that profile, extend it into that profile. Yeah, that sort of works. So I think just get the wire brush and the drill out and just see if I can find where the spot welds are and try and slit through there and cut that out. A little bit for a little bit more of a clearer picture now because I've got a torch on it and I've also had the brush in there, so there doesn't seem to be any welds on that portion. There's one there, there was one there, and there's one up there. So if I can cut through there and then down through there, I can just drop that piece off and then get behind it. There's a rust hole there as well, so this patch panel might be I don't know, 1.5 inches. What's that, 30 by 30 mil? Right, so there's the cut. There's the cut done. Very wide cut there. Never mind, I have to deal with that. There's a little bit left on that I can't get to, so I've got to wiggle that off. And surprise, surprise, come on, wiggle off nicely. There we go. There's a bit of rust behind it, but we can deal with that. I had to cut through the inner wing there. I can just zip that up, just put some spot welds in there and grind in there. Okay, so get the linisher out, I think, or the grinder maybe. Take that spot weld off, clean it all up. So I've marked out the area, the patch that I want to do, and I'm not sure that I can get the grinder in all around, which is alright because I can use other tools, sander, file, whatever. I'll cut what I can with a grinding disc and the rest I'll hack out, but I'll probably try and do a straight line. I can't get the tape on particularly straight, but it's just a guide. There we go. Try and yeah, get that patch out. Going bigger than maybe I normally would because there's a rust hole there, and I'm not sure whether that's a screw hole or not. It could well be a screw hole, it could be a rust hole, which could indicate that there's scaly shit behind the panel there waiting to break through. We don't know, so I'm going to do a bigger area. It's only a bit more welding. It actually seems as though I got more with the cutter, sorry, with the angle grinder than I thought I would. Let's just have a wiggle. Well, that's out. And I guess the other advantage of making a bigger window is clean behind there, which is good news, is that I can get in there as well, clean that crap up. Just get the old wire brush in there and the drill. Just like that. Doesn't appear to be rust, to be honest, more like just mud and whatnot. Oh, another bloody phone call. Right, here we go. Right, anyway, what I'm doing here is just using my nail to mark the outside, the edge of the hole, and then it comes out like that. You got that impression. And I can just cut it with the tin snips. Don't need scissors when you've got tin snips. Okay, Austin. This is a fantastic video on how to cut cardboard with tin snips. Like and subscribe for more awesome ideas to revolutionise your workshop life. Probably drop it there now. It's a bit big, but big is better than small because I can trim it down. So I'm going to make a template that big first. See ya. So I've got to extend this this piece downwards and backwards and then cut a hole in it. Just so happens that that's about the radius that I need, for the height and the curve. So what I'm going to do is just hammer on this side here. So again, I say again, that was another video, that was the Transit, this is the Sierra, and this is set up for the guttering on the Sierra that I've been doing, the roof gutter. It just so happens it's going to work for this too. Right, that's quite close. I think we're going to mark it, straighten that out a little bit. So I can see that that's tipping down a little bit more. Okay. A bit more of a crease on the top there. That's better. That's almost perfect now. It's a bit weird because which line was I using? None of those line up now, but I've got the profile I need. So what I'm going to do is trim that so it's parallel to this, and then I can just put a tack weld on there and just make sure these follow along as they should do and weld them up. I will just cut this over sides now. And after it's trimmed up, after it's welded up, I can do that weld. What am I talking about? After it's welded up, I can trim that to length. So back to a piece of copper, kept the two straight, parallel, flat, whatever you want to call it. And also helps just helps with welding, you know. Takes the heat away quickly, allows you to get a zap on there without blowing it. There's two nice little spots on there, so now I can take the copper off and sort out that tiny little mismatch. It's not even fixed to the material. You can just give that a tap and clamp it up again. Another spot on there, another spot on it, and yeah. power and you get a grinding wheel in there, and just file it flat. So that kept me occupied for a few minutes. I'm actually happy with the shape, it looks okay. And now I've got a trim down there, and I've got a trim down there, and I've got to match the hole that's on the car. So I'm pretty much done now for the patch, other than maybe some final sanding and whatnot. Right, I'm just trimming it to size now, and I've got to do that oval hole. So I've marked that on there, and I've got some paper here which I use as a template and try and get the step as well. I'm making this patch before welding in the piece behind it, and then when it's done I can just weld the back piece in and the front piece in, and it's all done in one go, rather than weld the back piece in then make the front piece. So I just make it all as a kit of parts, come over and then set the welder at once, weld it in once. So that patch now is perfectly matched and flush all the way around. So ready to weld in almost. I've got to clean the powder coating off that piece of metal. I'm going to leave it on the other side because it'll protect it. But before I weld that up, I want to do a bit of extra protection in there. It does seem to have some sort of coating on it, but I'm going to spray it with some parts cleaner. Like that. And I'm also going to stuff a Scotch Brite up there, which isn't really going to do much. I think it's relatively clean. After that, let it dry, and I'm going to fire some paint up there. Just any old paint. It's got scratches on there now. It was protected before by the looks of things because it didn't go rusty. But, I think it's just dirt. Yeah, so just get some paint up in there. And then, like I say, I'm going to weld this on. So that's just a 1K epoxy primer, all nice and squirted up there now. So I'll wait for that to dry so I can remove it from the area I've got to weld, because it's a bit of overspray there. Right, welded in, and not the prettiest welding, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to get ground flatter now. That's the rear patch welded in, ground down. Now there's no point doing any neater than that. I'm just going to hit it with some epoxy, 1K epoxy now, and then we get that in over it. Maybe I could use weld through. And I've got to cut some holes, I guess, in here to do some plug welds. Maybe do 3. Yeah, I'll hit it with some zinc. Paint the back of that as well. That's clear coat in place, ready for welding now. So we're all welded in now. It's lined up nicely. All we're going to do is grind it. It's finished. Grind it and get some paint on it. Crash bang wallop. I need a torch for welding. I don't think you need one to see though. Right, I'm good with that. I'm happy. We can move on to this crap down here now. Okay, so there we go. Welded in, sanded up, ground and sanded up. It's a little bit well witness in this, that and the other. I'm not going to worry too much about that. We're not going to worry about that at all. I'm going to call that job done. Put some primer on it. Just some 1K for now. Keep it from flash rusting. And we move on.